If you plan to do New Year's resolutions, this is the video you have to bookmark. Chances are you are a bit like me, lazy. That's actually not too bad because we humans, we have to preserve our energy. But that's also the reason why most of our New Year's resolutions fail. We don't stick with them long enough. We lose momentum after a while because we are simply not motivated anymore. If you're frustrated about that, well, the good thing is you're not alone. The majority of people fail with their New Year's resolutions. So simply go to any gym in January, it's packed, it's full, you have to wait in front of any machine. But now, end of February, and all the people that occupy the machines in January, well, they disappeared. You will not see them again. The problem is if something requires motivation to do it, well, it also requires some energy output from us. So it's working as long as we are motivated. But as soon as we have a bad day or some illness, well, we lose that motivation, we lose the streak, we lose the momentum. And after losing momentum once, it's really hard to actually build the momentum again. The key is actually not to rely on motivation alone. No. Much better than motivation is actually building a habit. Because when something is a habit, we don't require energy to do it. It's something that's happening almost automatically. Just to think about, for example, brushing your teeth in the morning or going to the shower in the morning. Well, it should feel normal for you to do it. The good thing is habits also work for harder things like going to the gym. I first I started my gym routine back in 2016. And when I started, of course, it was hard to push myself, going to the gym several times a week, and then going out of my comfort zone and having the muscle pain, etc. It was hard to do. It was hard to build this routine. But now, after 7 or 8 years, well, actually, if I'm not going to the gym several times a week, well, I feel bad. I feel weak. I don't feel comfortable in my body anymore. And that's the magic of having a habit. A habit actually pushes you to do things, even if they don't look comfortable from the outside. There was also a study about habit building, and the study concluded that we need on average 66 days to build a lasting habit. Of course, on average, that doesn't mean that you only have to pass 66 days and then voila, it's a habit. It's not as simple as that. Of course, it depends on the things you want to build as a habit. If it's something that is aligned with your identity, well, you probably don't need 66 days. But if it's something that is way out of your comfort zone, so for example, you're a couch potato, you never done any sport in your life, and then you want to start to become a gym bro, well, probably you need some more time to make it a lasting habit in that case. But at least the study concluded that on average you need the 66 days. Anyway, prepare yourself to build your habit for several weeks or months. It's not something that's going to work overnight. And the crucial point is actually to stay on track during those weeks or months. And how to do that? Well, first, you can try to make the habit small. So, for example, if you want to build a workout routine or gym routine, don't make it the habit to have a full workout every day. No. Start, for example, with one exercise per day you want to do. And for example, you can start with doing one push-up per day. Sounds small, but if you do it every day, it becomes normal. And after a while, it will be normal for you to do more than one push-up a day. Another tip is to use Notion as your habit tracker. Why Notion? Well, you could use any other habit tracking app. Personally, I like Notion because it provides me with a lot of flexibility. This way, I can actually build a habit tracker that aligns with my preferences and identity. And using a habit tracker, it adds some gamification to this process. Gamification is good because it makes the things more fun. It also adds a lot of accountability to this process and gives you visual feedback. This is important because when you're building a streak, for example, you want to do something for 90 days, it's good to have the visual streak in front of you. Because if you see that streak, it makes it kind of harder to break that streak because you realize how much you lose when you just break it once. Personally, using habit trackers helped me a lot to stay on track. In the following minutes, I'm going to walk you through my Notion habit tracking system I've built in the last years. I constantly improve the system as well, and I put all the things I've learned about habit tracking and Notion into this template. So I'm actually pretty confident to say that it's probably one of the best and most flexible habit tracking systems you will find in Notion. And I hope it will help you succeed with your New Year's resolutions. If you're interested in buying it, you can purchase the template on Gumroad or Etsy. But I've also created an online course that will show you how to build this habit tracker from scratch. You will find it on Skillshare. The link is in the description. So, are you ready? Then let's dive into the template. So, we are in the template. And the first thing you see is the vision board area. Why do we start with the vision board? Well, before you start tracking any habits, make sure you know exactly why you actually want to track that habit. Because it sounds cool, because everybody else is doing it. Well, that's not a good reason to start tracking a habit. No. First, define your vision. Define what kind of person you want to be in the future. And normally we have 4 areas where we should have visions for. The first is fitness and health. So the body, the way your body should work in the future. The second is mindfulness and happiness. So your inner world, the way you're thinking, how should that look like in the future? The third one is money and wealth. That are the materialistic parts of the world. And the fourth one, social life. So the way you interact with other people in this world. And the template motivates you to actually write a mission statement. So a statement about how you actually, what you want to actually achieve in that vision area. And then you can use this statement to actually define habits. I also make it possible to use Notion AI. So if you have access to it, you could use AI to actually create habits that are aligned with that statement. If you are interested in using AI to facilitate the habit tracking process a bit more, that's also one of the next videos I'm going to make. But in this video, I'm mostly showing you how to use my Notion template for tracking your habits. And here we have the heart of this template, the habit tracking area. You see several buttons here, and the buttons can be used to add habits into your habit tracking database. For example, you click on meditation, and meditation is added, and it is aligned with the today's date. It's linked with the visions and with habit stats. We'll talk about that part later. You can, of course, track more than one habit per day. That's the reason why you have several buttons. And the first button we already called meditation. Now we can, for example, rename the second button to say, let's say, jogging or going to the gym. So whatever you want to track. And when you want to check the habit, you simply click on the check button and voila, the habit got checked. So the buttons actually make it more easy to use that template when you use Notion on a mobile view. Because in my opinion, the database, it's really easy to, for example, add something new or check something when you're using the desktop. But on mobile, it's sometimes a bit painful to click around in the database. So it's much easier to use a button to make those things. But I have to point out, clicking on a button to add your daily habits is not the way I would use this template. I think there's a much more elegant solution. Some time ago, Notion introduced recurring tasks or recurring database entries. It works like that. You click here on the blue box and you see several templates here. We already have a template for meditation, for example. If you click here, you can edit your template. So you can align it with your visions and habit stats and state that created time is always today. The cool thing is you can make it appear to repeat at certain time intervals. For example, here's the menu for appearing every week, and then we can choose at which day of the week it will appear. And now every day is selected. We can also deselect several days. Then, for example, Thursday or Friday, it will not appear. But if we click on all days, then on every day of the week, that habit will be created in this database. It will be created at this time at 0 o'clock, so in the first minute of the day. Of course, you can also change it. Let's say you can make it 12 o'clock if you want, but I think it makes sense actually if it is created in the first minute of the date. So let's save it here. That's how you make the habits appear in the database. One more thing, you can create as many templates as you want. So for every habit you want to track, just create a new template. Just make sure if you're not tracking something, turn that repeat option. Turn that repeat option off. Otherwise, you have a lot of templates that will appear in this database and they will clog the database and make it slow. Just turn it on when you're really tracking a specific habit. And for checking, I recommend using the buttons because it's the fastest way to check. Checking cannot be automated, of course, because you are the person who needs, in the end, who decides if you have done a habit or not. And if you have done it, then you check it. It's simple like that. And that's how the habit tracking area works in this template. There's another nice feature in this template, the daily rating. It's not a core feature, but it's a small sub-template I've included here. You can create a new day, and then you can rate the day from best, that's 10, to worst, to 1. And this way, for example, here's 9, but we can also say 2, 7, or let's keep 10, or let's say 10. And this way you get an aggregate view of the quality of your days, which gives you maybe some feedback on how well your life is actually going. And lastly, we come to our analytics area. So you have here different properties, and you can create more properties if you wish. So for every habit you're tracking, you create a property, and here are some dummy interests. You can rename them, or you simply create a new habit property. So when you create a new habit, you have to link it to the template. For example, if we create a new entry for jogging, we need to make sure to create a template that is linked with this analytic entrance. So let's create a new template. Let's call it jogging. And here in that habit stats, we have to link it. Voila, and it is done. And now we only need to repeat this habit at the time interval we want to track it. And now if you start tracking your habit, you will receive feedback on how well you performed the last week, the last month, and over the year. And that was my quick showcase of my habit tracking template for Notion. If you like this template and think that could work for you, for the way you're tracking habits, please check out the link in the description. You will get to my online shop, and if you click on the link, you will also get a 25% discount. I also recommend checking out my course on Skillshare. In this course, I will show you how to build this template from scratch. You will find this course in the description of this video. So that was everything from my side. Thank you very much for watching, and see you next time. Ciao.